Well, hello everybody for a little bonus episode of Wholala.
Hello. Oh, a bonus ep. It's been a while since one of these bad boys.
I know. I think the last bonus ep we did was for the Children in Need. You weren't even here for the last bonus episode.
Here.
You weren't even here.
Oh, well, I'm glad to be here for this one. God. So, I mean, you'll tell by the title, we wanted to just say a little quick hello, give our little recap of the Doctor Who proms. We're a bit late to this. It'll probably be on TV by the time we post this. But
no, it's not going to be until Christmas.
That was the joke. But
So
we're a little bit late coming back to it, but we made it in the end. And we just want to say what a lovely time we had.
I mean, it's a week today of time of recording. It's a week today.
It's a week today that we're recording it. You're right. So it's not that late. But we just wanted to recap a special night for us, really.
Exactly. Honestly, I was telling everyone I had this booked in for months, obviously, and I was telling work, and my work were like, "Oh, you're gonna, leave a bit early and and I was like, I don't think you understand. I would quit my job if it meant that I was gonna get to go to the proms. Like, I don't think you know how long I've been waiting for this.
It's really hard to explain to a non-Who fan like how big a deal it is for us. Mm-hmm. The day after at work was like, oh, have a nice bank holiday weekend, and I was like, yeah, I went to the Doctor Who proms. And they're like, oh, that's nice. Anyway, I was hoping to have, and it was just like, I'm like, oh, you'll never know. But if I make a point of how good it was, I sound a bit weird. So
I don't care. I was saying to my colleagues, like, they were like, oh, how was the prom? How was the prom? And like, I think it expected me to be like, oh, it was really nice, thank you. And I'm sat there and I'm like, it was a life-changing experience.
It changed my life.
I will never be the same. And they're just there like, right, okay.
Yeah, I was magical. It was hard to take in. Like, I've listened to parts of the show walking around Sainsbury's, and I get chills listening to it back. Watching it when it comes out on iPlayer is going to be just amazing to relive it. 'Cause I think in the moment it's very hard to take it in, this kind of show, and it was just gorgeous. It was just gorgeous. Should we recap some of the songs that were played and the moments that happened?
Exactly. Yeah. Let's do it. So the proms, for anyone who doesn't know, it was on the 26th of August. It was last Monday as of time of recording. And it was a little group of us. It was me, Alasdair, our partners, the Galley Cab team.
Oh, yeah.
Recent Galley Cab fame. And we all went for a little dinner before. And we walked into the prom. And I just had this really weird, I don't know if you had it, like out of body moment where I was like, I have seen this on my DVD player multiple times. I've watched Free Management on that stage. I have seen Matt Smith running around. Like, yeah, I cannot. The TARDIS is over there. I cannot believe
like it's happening.
This.
I know
it's happening.
It was really strange. It was going up to the Royal Albert Hall. I've been before for a couple of things. One, I saw a live soundtrack of Casino Royale played, and one was like the very traditional end of the prom where they do like the whole Royal Britannia thing, which was one of the most Tory experiences I've ever sat through. My mum brought me. She loved it. It was just not. It's not my scene. It's not my space.
Britannia.
It's not my culture. But they
don't claim that. I'm a Hun, babe. I'm a Hun.
They give you little Union Jacks to wave at the end, and they all start really like the pensioners are. And it's like
I genuinely can't imagine that. You know, like in American Horror Story, that you have your own personal hell. That's mine.
There's something a bit camp about it because they released then red, white, and blue balloons from the ceiling that absolutely smother you. And my mum started sort of smacking those, and they bounced off my head, and she was laughing her face off, and she was filming me, and it was kind of a nice moment. But anyways, that was a different experience to the proms.
We did not have the same experience. It snowed in our proms.
Oh yes, no, I went on a real tangent there. I felt quite bad actually because in galley cab scenarios, it's usually quite a nice social situation to say, "Oh my god, hi, oh you're so and so, oh I've listened to, oh I've seen you cosplay, oh I've seen your videos, oh da da da." I was so anxious to get in my seat with a wine that I was just trying to gather the group. Everyone was like, "Oh look!"
You kept coming up to me and you were like, "Do you think it's time to go in now?" And I was like, "Oh, it doesn't start for an hour. It's fine." We were chatting outside, but I think it's time to go in.
But I think we want door 3. I think we should find door 3. Hey Sam, I know we're all talking, having fun, and taking pictures, but door 3. So
do you know what? I've got such a fun idea. Why don't you know Italian back? And it's like, why don't you shut the hell up and leave me alone. You were like that, but you were like, why don't we go to door 3, get a wine and sit down?
And then I know, and then at the end, my sister and my boyfriend actually both had to get really far south at the end of the night, so we all had to sort of run off to get them safely onto the train. So I know you lot went for a lovely little drinky after. I couldn't make it.
We did.
I couldn't do it.
It was very cute.
And I actually would have
Very
loved to. I
cute.
would have loved to. I just didn't want to let them wander off by themselves.
I really thought you were going to say, I would have loved to, but I didn't want to.
No, I did. I really did. I did. And it was a school night as well. It felt naughty.
It was very naughty, but it was worth it. Like you said, let's do a quick deep dive into some of the songs that played.
Okay, well, they opened with 15, and I was like, oh my God, they're opening with 15. Like,
Well,
wow.
they didn't open with it, to be fair. They opened with, I didn't think they were going to do this. They opened with the, ooh, doo, doo, doo. I was like, oh, they're doing it. But I will say one thing that just bugged me because I'm me. In the show, it's ooh, like it's an ooh, and she went like, oh, like an R, and I was like, oh, it's not quite right.
Oh, that's a different sound. That's an R, not an ooh. I'm sure we'll have a real soundtrack fan come through and be like, actually, they've done both, and actually, they're both valid, and they come up at different points in the show. But
I'm
you're right.
sorry.
The transition from, is that the ninth? It's the ninth.
I think it's
theme,
the ninth
isn't it?
Doctor's theme, but going into 15, I'm not kidding, and I'm not ashamed to say there were like 3 points I nearly cried, and one of them was during 15's theme.
Beautiful music.
Dun, 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 dun. And it's got like a montage of Shooty, and it made me think because like I feel like because I wasn't hugely pleased with the ending of the season, that I tend to be like a tiny bit pessimistic about it. But I was watching it there, like all the clips with the live music, and I was just like, I love this.
I loved it. I tell you what, it was beautifully cut. I don't think we ever got to the bottom of who did the edits, but all the edits for all the songs were gorgeous. They didn't just play the scene it sat with. It would often be like a cut of the episode with parts of the scene that it played against, which was interesting. So that was gorgeous. It felt cheeky as well, getting all this like unreleased music, because I listened to a lot of these tracks, well, I've heard most of these tracks kind of in the like extract version, so people go get the episode, they try and take out the music, and you get sound effects muddled in, and the volume kind of goes up and down all over the place. And to get like full versions of like music from The Giggle and from Space Babies, and every so often I'd be like, oh, that's a new bit they've done just for this, because sometimes they'd add in a new little bit just to like finish off the song where it didn't have a natural ending, or it was I mean, really special.
Yeah, it was so amazing. And I feel like something I was really looking forward to the proms. I didn't know if they do it because obviously they did the proms. I think they did like 3 of them. And the last one was in 2013, so 11 years ago. And I wasn't really sure what they would carry over, but it feels like there wasn't a gap. Like the bit when they did like a little section for each of the Doctors since the last proms. They did a section for the 11th Doctor, a section for 12, a section for 13, and during the 11th Doctor's one, I mean, all of them had monsters coming out, but 11 had like 10 different species of monster come out. They had things I never thought in the year of our Lord 2024 I would be seeing peg dolls on your boyfriend's main Instagram feed.
I know.
And like the Whisper Men in the corner. I was like, oh my God, like this is amazing.
That whole section was such a beautiful tribute to the 11th Doctor's era. And I think you just realise how long and like wide-ranging that era was. All the Moffat monsters coming out. And it was amazing what good condition a lot of stuff was in as well. I was like, oh, they've still got that. Like they've been keeping that well.
They've still got it.
And,
I was wondering, I was like, some of them are going to be rotting. I was like, something tells me we're not going to see a Slitheen anytime soon.
No, exactly. Some materials I think have aged better than others, but they've clearly done like a great job of keeping things in really good condition.
Yeah.
I just, there was something about hearing I'm the Doctor live that was really, really special. That was like a very, like in a 13-year-old me just felt that.
Yeah.
In my chest. I was like, wow, that was good.
Yeah, it was so good.
And then when they started Vale Decem, I turned to Josh and I was like, banger. Like, here we go. And then kicking off A Good Man in part 2, it was just like, God, like hit after hit after hit, like just gorgeous.
I feel like, well, I'm going to say something nice and then I'm going to kind of go back on it. I feel like we've had so much incredible music in the last 11 years that like impossible to not do banger after banger after banger because, like you said, Valedictum, the 11th Doctor's theme, 12th Doctor's theme, the whole Say Goodnight Canola suite of the 13th era, like, it's all incredible. But then they did make a couple weird choices. Abigail's song, I was like, that's an odd choice.
That was a weird choice.
There's other things you could have done in its place. Like,
but
I liked it, don't get me wrong.
They only did it because it's going to be on at Christmas.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah.
It
was a weird choice, but because it's going to be a Christmas show, I did think it was right. I thought it was weird too. I think maybe they were like, well, we're going to do one with words anyway, and it's that or the long song.
I'm glad it wasn't the long song because, like, the day or two after the proms, I sat down and we watched the 2013 proms, and it was amazing. It was great, whatever. And then the long song came up, and I turned to Nick, and I was like, oh, banger. And then they started, and it was like this girl who wasn't the girl that played her in the show with a little bit of a shaky voice, and this man just like, rest now your head. And Nick was just sat there like, right. I was like, oh, right. But no, it was still very, very cute.
I think I said at some point to boyfriend of the pod, Josh, that they were doing a suite with some music from 73 Yards. And he joked at some point, like, oh, imagine if they have The Woman come out. And he said this while we were in our seats. And he was like, I was like, oh, yeah, because we're probably 73 yards away from the start, from the front. Who comes out in the suite? The Woman. The woman was with the choir doing the hand movements. And
she was literally about 70. I remember looking at her, I was like, I can't quite see her face.
You couldn't make out her face properly. And it was really weird because it's all you could look at. Like, no matter what the visuals were on the screen, you could not take your eyes off her. And I was thinking about, like, because we know what the words the actor said were, like, oh, when you gave me that thing, it was so precious. Thank you so much.
How am I ever going to repay you? I guess we'll come to something. Yeah.
And I was just hearing that in my mind while there's like hand rubbing movements and hand to the chest. And I was like,
did you have the same emotional connection when the bogeyman stood in the exact spot and pretended to be blown away?
That made me laugh. The bogeyman was a full comedy character without meaning to be. Like, me and Josh were cackling. And as the bogeyman on the visuals on the screen is getting sucked into the airlock, the bogeyman up by the choir sort of grips onto the rails and sort of wiggles around a bit, pretending to be sucked into the airlock, which really made me laugh.
It's so funny.
It wasn't sad.
It wasn't sad. We do need to talk as well a bit about the host of the event and also the little guest cameo that we got. I was so excited.
Oh my God. So Catherine Tate was struggling when she came out.
Oh, God bless her heart.
She was giving. I think she was obviously really nervous. I think, which was weird, like that she was nervous, but she seemed nervous to me.
I mean, but hosting the proms is like a big. It's a big deal.
But you just think someone like wouldn't be at their point in their career. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, there was we could see the teleprompter clip at the very, very back of the room, and it wasn't very big. Like if you were to try and look at that, unless you have excellent eyesight from the stage. It was a tiny little window, and reading a teleprompter anyway, if you've ever had one that actually like cycles down the words, I've done it once for a bizarre thing I did for uni once in exchange for a Amazon voucher that's probably still on the internet touring some uni halls. It's really hard. Yeah. And I think she had in mind that we were filming it for the TV special. So she kept scrubbing and redoing her lines and be like, I'll do that again. Oh, I'll say that as if English is my first language.
There was one bit where she said it and she was like, Shaka Khan. And it just made me laugh so much. I don't know if you get the RuPaul. I know she wasn't doing a RuPaul thing, but there's a RuPaul reference where if she doesn't know the answer to a question, she just says Shaka Khan. She was on The Weakest Link once and they ask her a question. She just looks dead at the person and goes, Shaka Khan.
Which is essentially what she did. And, but it's funny because then the Radio 4 version, or maybe it wasn't Radio 4, whatever it went out on.
BBC Sound.
The radio version that went out. I think it was Radio 3. Radio 3 version that went out, they've kept all the fluffs because they did it live at 7 o'clock.
Well, they can't, they did it live.
And I don't know that anyone told her that it was live on the radio at the same time. So I think
it was so funny listening to it.
She was like, and our soprano, Ida Garofalina.
She was like, I'm going to say it like English isn't my first language.
Yeah.
But then the bit I find so funny is, obviously she would have been prepped, but it seemed like she wasn't prepped for when Mrs. Flood came out, because she was like halfway through saying a sentence, and it wasn't like, Anna, whoa, who's this? It was like, oh, hello. Oh, okay. And then like kind of, she just walked off.
Oh.
And then Anita Dobson as Mrs. Flub, bless her, she was like the highlight of the night
That
for
was
me.
a
She
gag.
goes, bye! Like, as she like runs away, turns to the audience in her fluffy like white outfit that looks like she's just skinned the meep, and does a whole speech to the
So
audience. Like, the
funny.
last time I was in the Royal Albert Hall, when I saw a concert in 1980 something, and I saw Queen, they were all right, and I was like,
so
it's
good.
funny because you're married.
Because you're
I was
married to
hoping
one
we
of
get
them.
like some little teaser. She did say, she was like, oh, do you believe I'm a sweet little neighbor, or do you think I'm an alien villain? Who knows? So like that was the only real little like potential tease we got, but like
Yeah.
nothing solid.
Didn't they say something as well about Ruby's story not being over yet or something in there? Maybe I imagined it.
I think she kind of like led it to, she was saying about how she loves to tell stories or something, and then she was like, just like this one, the Legend of Ruby Sunday, and then it like led into the Legend of Ruby Sunday.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but she was great, honestly. Her, Catherine Tate, all of the performers they had coming out, so good.
It was great. She was a brilliant surprise. And I go, never seen a prom before. Absolutely sent me.
I did feel a bit of the absence of a doctor, because we did have like a video message from Shooty's
Oh, God,
doctor,
we did.
which then got interrupted by Jinkx Monsoon, which was incredible. Like, I loved the Jinkx bit. They made the people in the orchestra sing My Dog, which I was hoping they would play anyway.
Really funny.
But every time that Shooty was on screen, I kind of just was like, oh, it's cute. Shooty Gatwa did a video message, but like, it wasn't really doctoring. I feel like all the other proms, if the doctor isn't physically there, which normally they would be, they did like a proper little like mini-sode, like Music of the Spheres. And I did feel a little bit like they just sort of caught him at the end of a filming day and grabbed a camera and was like, right, okay, here's a hello proms. Hope you have a nice day.
It didn't even give filming day. It gave a Disney Plus promo day where he was
I
in
get that.
very lovely makeup and was doing a whole set of Don't Miss Doctor Who this December on ABC Disney. But, you know,
And don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Doctor Who YouTube channel.
it was as if they had him for an hour and this was one of a number. But the other really awkward thing that you don't get with the video quite as well was he was like, oh, hello, the Royal Albert Hall. Oh,
I know exactly where you're going.
And everyone kind of finished clapping and then he kept going, okay,
okay,
all right, but to a dead silent room. And it was like, ooh.
They're definitely going to edit up the clapping for that one.
I think they are. But yes, I think as well, I guess previous Doctors, when they do it with Music of the Spheres or where Matt and Jenna are sort of teleported into the, like, oh, we're in the orchestra, look, Clara. They take it quite seriously. Like they are really committed to the character. And in this one,
I don't know how to play the double bass.
In this one, it felt 1 foot in, I'm playing the Doctor, and 1 foot in, but you know I'm not. And I almost wanted, I think you need to go full in.
I think the thing that made that even more evident was just how amazing Jinkx was in their section, because the story is like the Doctor's giving a video message and then the Vlinx announces like, I also feel like they could have had the Vlinx in the corner like the whole time. I
think they could have just brought the Vlinx.
Yeah. But the Vlinx is like, oh, we're being intercepted, we're being invaded. And then Jinkx Monsoon's maestro like takes over and does a whole thing. And they were like fully in it. Like they were 100%. And that was amazing. And then it cuts back to the Doctor like, wow, glad that they're done because clapping is da-da-da-da. And I was like, oh, bring back
There
Jinkx.
was a character that Jinx's accent reminded me of. They left Maestro behind at one point and went really like, I don't know, doing this voice, wah, wah. And it was like
They've done a lot of animated characters and stuff. Like I think that Jinkx has done Adventure Time and stuff like that.
It became another animated character that is well known. That was like, yeah, wah, wah. And I couldn't place what it is. And at some point it will come to me and someone will do a tweet being like, why does Jinx sound like? But there was a weird bit on the commentary on Radio 3 and the person commentating, who was kind of like speaking in between Catherine Tate, was like, oh yeah, we had that character on earlier which looked a bit like an overweight Elizabeth I. And I was
How
like,
horrible!
what a strange thing to say. Overweight Elizabeth I. Because
Send someone who actually enjoys the show.
also just a strange observation on someone's body to make anyway, but Jinx's body isn't even in the clip. It's their face.
It's literally like shoulders up, and Jinkx also isn't really plus size.
No, so it's just a very
and also
odd.
Elizabeth I was overweight.
It just was a very strange thing to say, really, that I think they probably should have
I missed that.
done an apology for. Very odd. A few people picked it up who were listening in. It was really strange to me.
Yeah. Really
Anyway, We've got to get on and do another episode, which you're going to hear very soon, unless we've messed up the order and you've already heard it. So we'll wrap up with our final thoughts on this beautiful prom.
Yes, you'll be hearing our Deep Breath episode very shortly. But on the proms, I just thought overall, such an incredible time. It was something that since childhood I have been waiting for. Like, I remember when we hosted all the parties, the giggle and stuff, after almost everyone had gone home, it was just me and a couple people and we just watched one of the proms.
Yeah.
And it's just always been such a integral part of me growing up and adoring Murray Gold's music, then later obviously loving Sega Nakanola's music. And it just felt so special to be at. What it made me really think is how grateful I am to be a Doctor Who fan right now. Like, I went obviously with Nick and he loves Charmed and all these other shows, and he was saying to me at the end of the night, he was like, I don't think you understand just how lucky you all are to love the show as much as you do and have all of these opportunities around you. Like, obviously, like, there's Galley Cab and all these fan events, but then there's also the screening of the finale in the IMAX, and then there's the Doctor Who prom, and then there's this and that, and it's just such a great time to be a Doctor Who fan. It just made me very, very grateful.
The thing that was very validating for me as well is, same to you, I've grown up listening to the soundtrack, and, I've wanted to go to the proms, honestly, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And can't understate how amazing it was to hear live and how surreal it is to hear the orchestra, the National Orchestra of Wales play it live. And it was very validating to turn to Josh at the end. He was like, that, of all the things we've done, of seeing the screenings, doing the hosting parties, watching the series together, watching old episodes together, he's like, that is the thing that has just won me over to Doctor Who beyond anything else. He's like, I already enjoyed it. That won me over. I think he would now call himself a Who fan off that.
And what a better way to end the episode.
What a better way to end it, huh? That's how we do it. More proms every week.
More proms, baby. More proms. Well, please reach out to us and let us know. Did you go to the Doctor Who prom as well? Have you listened on radio, or are you looking forward to watching it at Christmas? You can reach out to us on our social media, all of which is at Wholala Pod. That is X, Twitter, Instagram, Threads. You can also email us your Doctor Who fan anecdotes. And please, we want fan anecdotes of the proms. Let us know. That's on our email, which is wholalapod@gmail.com.
What horrible things were happening behind the scenes at the proms that we don't know about?
Yeah, tell us.
Let us know. As Sam said. And you'll see us in the next full episode. I won't bother reading out all our links because you'll get them there. But engage and send us your money.
Sure. Why not? Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you very soon.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.